welcome to the first of 3 special music programmes on A+ throughout this week. On Thursday we have classical music, tomorrow jazz, today we have the stuff of the charts. What we've just seen was a promotion video to boost the song A Sign of the Times, which was recorded by the Belle Stars and which reached number 3 in the top 20 charts. Now last year, before this and other successes in Japan, Australia, America and throughout Europe, we spent some time with the group to find out how, as a 7-piece all-girl band, they've been packaged and promoted. Now Dave Robinson, the boss at Stiff Records, is the man responsible for making the crucial decisions which govern their future in conjunction with John Rummans, the tour manager and coordinator of the band. Steve Sutherland of Melody Maker is one of many journalists watching their progress with a critical eye. Our film traces the relationship between the record company and the 7 girls who make up the Belle Stars. Having said that, here's a chance to see that film again.
I think the Belle Stars are probably deadly serious, actually, more serious than their records portray, more serious than their public image portrays. I think it matters to them a great deal, the way people see them. I think probably, just from my own feelings about it, that they probably have a hell of a row with Stiff over the way they're being presented and the way people think that they should look.
The Clash, and the first 2 gigs we did with them in France were really good, but the one in Brussels, and it put me off Brussels for a while, it's just so bad. We had sort of like Pepsi Cola bottles flying, you know, and sort of like saliva flying here and gob in the eye here. It was brilliant gig. It was a good gig.
Black and blue, scar of suffering, for an end to this misery, it's killing me. Don't keep stabbing his heart, it's already bleeding. Kill the flame that burns deep inside of me. Why do you still keep haunting me? You know it's safer to let our love die. It's better to try, sweet on the memory. Please leave me now and say goodbye. Just say goodbye, just a memory, just a sweet, sweet memory.
I thought it was, well, quirky. I mean, it's like, it was music that I hadn't really heard before. It was put together in a very, very odd way. I mean, there was very little flow there, but there was an awful lot of excitement, and there was a lot of, I suppose, instruments used in very, very odd ways. And I thought, you know, there's a lot of potential there for eventually, for really good songs to suddenly appear.
Jenny is the lead vocalist. Born in London with a Jamaican dad and an Irish mother, she has numerous brothers and sisters. At the age of 15, she spent a year in care. Never believing she could sing, she kept herself employed as a telephonist.
What you meant to me, I'm alone, I'm on my own, and I'm feeling good.
Reluctantly, she auditioned for backing vocals with The Jam and got the job. 18 months ago, she joined the Belle Stars.
Time to be free. It don't worry me, 'cause it's time.
Leslie plays bass guitar. She's played with several political and feminist bands, the last being the Spoilsports. She split from them after a conflict of ideas and joined the Belle Stars because the band were into playing rather than politics.
You'll be lucky.
Leslie is married to a rock guitarist and has been with the Belle Stars since they started.
Yeah, it could definitely come in straight away.
Right.
More of a punch.
You think it's
All right,
bright enough?
Sarah Jane, called SJ, is lead guitar. Her father is a bank manager in Portsmouth, but SJ's training and interests were in fashion design. She gained an MA from the Royal College of Art and, under designer Jeff Banks, had her own design label. Despite her success, money and her own social life were minimal. So she joined the Body Snatchers and learnt to play, before helping to form the Belle Stars.
Not much, because you don't want it too skaty.
Stella plays rhythm guitar. She grew up on a large farm near Scunthorpe and followed a promising academic career at Edinburgh University, with a degree in modern languages, and county-level tennis was more than just a hobby. Deciding she was not competitive enough for sport, she chose rock music, joined the Body Snatchers and helped start the Belle Stars. Claire and Miranda are the two saxophonists. Claire comes from a northern family who gave her her first saxophone when she was 18. She played in bands around Leeds before coming south.
Got a bit of a lot of Miranda in that band. Do you want to just do that bit, or the whole thing again?
Miranda grew up in London, and both her brothers are rock musicians. She left school before taking her A-levels, and later turned down a place at Hornsey Art College to join a band. The first time Miranda played a saxophone was to audition for the Body Snatchers. Later, she helped create the Belle Stars. Claire, for her part, took up keyboards when she joined the band.
What's she got to do?
Judy is the drummer. The granddaughter of Wyndham Lewis, she gained a double honours degree in maths and logic and, reaching a senior post as a civil engineer in mud research, gave it all up to play in various feminist bands. Her husband is in the music business. Joining the Body Snatchers just as they split up, Judy was a founder member of the Belle Stars.
Who's that girl who's standing there? And who's she with? What's her name? What's her age? What's she got?
We went through a dreadful period when we were in the studio of not knowing what sort of band we were anymore. Because in a studio we lay it all down, and we'd always been essentially a live band and always had a really good response from our live shows, and people really liked us.
What's the use? Who's right? Who's wrong? It's love so loose. Who's that girl who's standing there? And who's she with? What's her name? What's her age? What's she got to give? That's the story that you told me, and that's so sad.
We are starting to make relatively good sounding records now compared to the old ones. I mean, perhaps it's a little bit unfortunate that a lot of people think the band have actually sold out with covers, but a lot of people seem to neglect that a lot of those songs are good songs, and they're recorded well. They're good records.
The marketing of the band is more than just making a record. Part of the package is a promotion video, which sets the style and tone of the band in people's minds.
Yeah, yeah, rockin' Bethlehem. Everybody, have you heard? He's gonna find me a rockin' Bethlehem. Oh, and if that rockin' bird don't sing, he's gonna find me a diamond ring. And if the diamond ring don't shine, he's gonna surely break his heart and mine. And that's why I can tell you that exactly.
I heard a rumour at one stage that Dave Robinson, stiff impresario, was attempting to make them do a whole album of cover versions, or attempting to persuade them to. I don't think he could make them do anything. They're quite strong-willed. Now, whether that's the case or not, I don't know, but that would probably be a disaster, I would have thought. They wouldn't be happy. So it might sell quite well, but from there, the springboard to the next, to their career, to their future, really is down, because there's nothing they could do to follow that.
Mockingbird is a case in point. I mean, that record would have done a lot better if the group had supported it. They had a very wishy-washy kind of attitude towards it, thinking, oh, well, our record company has chosen it, we're not 100% behind it, we prefer some of our own tracks were used. And if there's any doubt in DJs, if you can put any doubt in their minds anyway...
But I think that
then,
that was already there, because
No,
it's been
no,
a long
no.
summer of covers.
I know. If you give it this...
Meetings like this should clear the air, so that both sides know what their intentions are for the band, on policy, image, and presentation.
They play what they like, and they play what they're hustled well on, a lot of the time.
Or maybe they weren't hustled well.
They were hustled very well, but then
Well,
if
are
the
you-
group go on the radio 4 or 5 times saying, we're not sure about it, we're not really keen on it, we don't quite like it, unless they go on there and be enthusiastic, and that means plus. Not an average, not a minus, but a real plus. If you can't do that about stuff that's put out by you, then you're only hurting yourself. When this record company is bigger than the Belle Stars.
I think they must be very disappointed that as they set out to just be a band, they didn't want to be an all-girl band. They just wanted to be accepted as another band that were doing something, that were making their way. And now they've been almost forced, I think, by Stiff Records, or at least by their situation in the charts, their disappointment, into being a girly group, that archetype, almost like a parody of the Supremes or something like that. And the question of whether actually it's Stiff's pressure on them, or whether they allowed this to happen themselves, or whether they thought it would happen, is quite interesting.
In spite of the usual promotions for Mockingbird, the record failed to make an impression on the charts, and this video has never been used.
We've been with Stiff now for quite some time, well, just over, well, 15 months, I'd say, thereabouts. According to the contract, I mean, we have mutual say in terms of what product goes out, how we are marketed, how the public see the image of the band in terms of photographs or whatever. But I mean, when you actually come down and sort it all out, basically I think Stiff make the major decisions, purely because I think Stiff have a lot more experience and they have a good track record. But I mean, it's very much, I suppose, a family here. I mean, we all get on very well with everybody that works at Stiff, and they are generally out for the good fortune of the band, I suppose.
It's important that we get behind what you're doing, or you support us in what we're doing. Otherwise, it's very much a partnership. Although the contract says this is not a partnership, it is in essence, and we have to get along with each other.
It was Dave Robinson at Stiff, however, who suggested this song. The band arranged it, and it was first performed on television in May. It has still not been released as a single, although the lyrics express, poignantly, the predicament the girls are now in.
On her way to work one morning, down the path alongside the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor half-frozen snake. Its pretty-coloured skin had been all frosted with the dew. Oh, then she cried, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, tender woman. Sorry, snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a coverture of silk, and she laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night. As soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, tender woman. Sorry, snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you might have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. Instead of saying thanks, Snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, tender woman. Cried the woman, and you bit me, but what? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm gonna die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew darn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Well, we're down to the fifth.
254.
Yeah, that's the last element. Our revenue just comes through live gigs. Out of the money we do receive from gigs, we don't come away with too much profit, if profit at all. there have been sort of dire times when we've been down to nothing in the bank. We've been down to, you know, the red in the bank, and they've been really hard times. So yeah, I mean, it would be great if we had like a stockpile of money so we could go out and we could spend more money on the live show. We could actually travel to foreign countries by plane instead of, you know, piled into the back of a Ford Transit van which isn't got no heating. I mean, there's the sad story of rock and roll perhaps, but yeah, it would be nice to not to have to cut so many corners. It would be nice not to sleep 5 people in one room in a hotel.
Hello, Leslie. Hello, Chuck.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello. Finally made it, eh?
Yeah.
Hello there, Ralph. You stop getting all your tutter with Ralph.
What's this keyboard hire?
Keyboard hire is for the gig we did at Goldsmiths, an SJ's pedal.
Basically what the band do is they pay themselves a wage per week, and there has been a pay increase now to £75 purely because living costs, whatever, have been so excessive. £75 a week is all they get.
If I was floating as she was falling.
I think it's great. I think it's really good. I want to do a video underwater. I'm thinking of it underwater. Can they all swim? Well, who cares? Throw them in.
They can.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, they can swim.
They can all swim?
They're all good swimmers, yeah.
Well, that'll be very helpful.
I mean, is it going to be an old snorkel job?
No, it's got to just be underwater, you know, no snorkels.
One of those like 1940s?
Yeah, it looked like Esther Williams meets, you know, a creature from the Black Lagoon, I think.
So how are we doing with these album designs?
Well, John, when we went to Steve yesterday, John said that he wants a photo taken, I think, of us or something, and then someone to do it in sort of Monet-style painting.
With the artistic qualifications of some members of the band, the ideas for image presentation are based on fine art. But is that what a fickle record-buying public actually want in the shops?
I expect Davey used Simon then, won't he, anyway?
If you can do that, yeah. Did you speak to him?
This has been done airbrush. Look, this is sort of quite... I don't know how that's been done, just painted. Look very avant-garde cover, isn't it? That's like
Albania?
That artist, what's it called? Russo.
Is it?
You know that does all the jungle things.
It's good, but it's like, it's a bit wishy-washy, the colours, isn't it?
I don't like the collage thing. I think it would have been better if they'd been one...
Yeah. But see, I don't really like the idea of just like a conventional group shot either. I think it should be something more abstract, like a camera from above with just our faces looking up or something.
What,
you know that Squeeze
well?
you know that Squeeze album that's just like patches of light with their faces in it? I like that idea. But like Judy says she doesn't want a photo of us on the front, she wants a photo of us on the back.
Judy would. But what does Dave want?
Well, I imagine he'd want a photo of us in the front, wouldn't he?
Doesn't it depend as well on the title? I mean, what comes
Show them
first?
what beautiful girls we are.
That's right. The 7 beautiful Belle Stars.
Good morning. Can I help you, please?
Big Mac, small fries.
We see each other practically every day, and we have our ups and downs. You know, bad gig, people scream and shout. Good gig, great, you know. I think it's strange that people sort of think that bands are different from that, but it's not. It's hard work, everyone gets tired. You spend so much time sitting in the back of a van for 1 hour a night, you know.
Mother here.
Big Mac and a coffee.
Would you like any French fries for that French panda?
Yeah. All on separate trays, please.
Okay. Would that be £6.97?
It depends whether we sell a lot of records as to what will happen to us. We're a large band. If we don't sell records, Stiff Records will drop us and no one else will want us. You can't make a living just by playing gigs anymore.
And the bag. Very attractive.
You're on a Hebrides holiday.
Scotland.
I think the band has its own particular sound. I think that whatever we played, it would still sound like the Belle Stars because of the lineup and the personalities involved. We're constantly trying to improve, like individually as players and musicians, and as a band.
What's happening with the single mix?
Well, communication is casual, even on major issues. Stiff Records have already decided on the band's next single.
Well, I mean, the single's been played to Stiff. It's going to be Sign of the Times.
It's definitely going to be that.
I think that's what Stiff are really keen on here. Sign of the Times as the single. with Stella's like speaking bit on it.
We need, behind that, needs to have more backing vocals.
Even though Stiff's choice has been one of their own compositions, a distinct change in the record company's policy, their reaction is more concerned than celebration. Faced with yet another promotion effort that may not be of their own choosing, the band fear that the girly group packaging may overpower the original intentions of their own song and what they wanted it to say.
They're talking about it's being redone. And I said various things about...
Well, it's been remixed though, isn't it?
And the bit when the guitar intro comes back in.
It'll have a lot more oomph to it.
Oh, it's very fetching, young man.
Yeah?
Marco, you look ridiculous.
Oh, no, is it?
In the final analysis, it's a return to grassroots and a live band playing to a live audience. And as 7 independent-minded women, they each have their own statements to make.
Who cut Judy's hair?
It was cut at a gig in Leeds by SJ, Miranda, and I think Jenny had a hand in it.
It was a good gig, was it?
Well, yeah, pretty hair raiser, yeah. Yeah, it was a good gig. It was one of the best, I think. Why don't you like it?
Well, it just looks like very alcoholic kind of haircut.
Well, that's Judy. What do you think it does for the image of the band, getting away from the sort of little girl aspect?
I don't know, really.
You're not
If
quite
she's
sure?
going to jump around as well, it's going to be troublesome. Yeah.
What's the last gig you've been to, in fact?
I can't remember now.
Because Judy's getting a strong reputation now of being the total loony on stage.
But she's getting that reputation here and in every photo session and in every video.
Is that good?
I don't think so. No. I mean, she's got a rat in every single album picture cover.
Well, I think Judy
She tries too hard.
The more that we grow together, the stronger we become as a unit, and people outsiders find it really hard to break into that, which is good because that's what we wanted from the first place. It's just that in the beginning we were so indifferent, we didn't help ourselves at all. And we're learning now to become a unit so that we can fight as a unit and be strong together.
All the support band are wearing skirts. Got a tasty little number.
This one is our next single. And guess what? It's ours. How's about that then? Whoa!
I think probably now they're, in a way, popular for the reasons that they didn't want to be popular in the beginning. And again, from a media point of view, from just their original fans' point of view, the fact that they couldn't play, that they were 7 girls that couldn't necessarily play very well, that looked the way they wanted to, that said basically what they wanted to do, that didn't act like an all-girl band should act, was very important. And now that's not the case anymore. The more proficient they've become, the less it seems that they've got anything to say.
If everyone keeps their mind on the idea that we're trying to sell some records and we're trying to do something that's quite good and we're trying to also please everybody at the same time, and that everybody's doing their best and thinking about these things at all times, we'd have a much better result. People seem to imagine that people just throw them in the deep end without any consideration for them or consideration for what the end product is, whereas obviously an awful lot of thought goes into that.
Why do we go on with this useless love affair? It seems to me that you don't really care. I realise now, nothing is new. It's time to live my life without you. I think now, wondering about you. I'm living my life. What do you do? You say you want me, but need success. I'll stay lying, nothing has changed. It's the sign of the times, more to come.
They're just different people. They have different aspirations, different goals. I mean, their playing ability varies from one to one. Some of them are intensely interested in music. Others are not that interested. You know, I mean, it's just 7 people who've basically been thrown together and tried to make the best of it. But they do actually gel every now and then, and it sort of amazes me just to see how much fun they can get out of the whole business.